exploring!
First time on this one, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Liberty of the Seas. What's up, my friends? It is your Uncle Explorin' Ryan coming to you from the beautiful port city of Fort Lauderdale. That's southern Florida, Miami-ish, if you will. We're jumping on that big-ass boat over there, and we're going to take a 3-day cruise to, yep, you guessed it, the Bahamas. Hey, join us today on sailing day as we do just a little exploring. So my wife just noticed, actually, that we have some coupons laying in our room as we walk in, because this is our second cruise in about 6 months. Among the other things, we got coupons for wine and dining, for entertainment, which would be things like at the casino, for internet, and for shopping, as well as right here we have our tickets. These are for our excursions, which begin tomorrow at a perfect day at Coco Cay. Right up here we have the water that is waiting for us. We have our king bed, which lines up directly with the television, which does have a nice gouge across it, but I don't think we're going to be spending a whole lot of time watching the television. And we are right up against what they call the panoramic window. Juts out, as you may or may not be able to tell here on camera, juts out. There's a dumpster, and as you can see, Fort Lauderdale is looking quite a bit unlike what most people think Fort Lauderdale looks like. Although if you look out way in the distance, way out there, you can see the Hard Rock Hotel, which is shaped like a guitar. That is whoop, right about there. Kind of cool. Also here in the room we have a nice couch. Looks like it'll easily fit probably 3 or 4 people sitting on it, plus it folds out into a bed, which we will not be needing right this particular moment. And of course, the bathroom. This is kind of what most cruise ships' bathrooms look like. You got the little capsule shower right here. Not a whole lot of room. A little toilet, sink. You got your toiletries and things like that here. So that is about the size of that. There is a nice little safe right here. We can throw our stuff in. You can set your own code. I'll do that in just a second. I want to show you something over here. This particular room, if you want to keep the lights on, you see this right here? You're supposed to put your card in here anytime that the lights are supposed to be on in the room. This is done to make sure that you don't just leave everything on when you leave the room. As you can see, I'm pushing the button, and you know, nothing is happening because we don't have our card in there. Next to that, of course, is the closet where we keep nothing. And of course the other closet where you could find the adult and child size life jackets. So it is sailing day. The first thing that you need to do after you get on the ship you go to your muster station. That's a safety thing. You learn how to not die should you hit a iceberg or something like that. We've already done that. We've got the app. The app has reminded us several times to go do that. Now that we're finished, we're in the room, of course. We're checking out a room, we're dropping off our bags, and now it is time for the celebratory feast where we head down to the Windjammer. The Windjammer is the buffet. You can't have a cruise unless you start it by eating a whole bunch of buffet food. So I've got the right t-shirt for it. Let's go do that. Right here we have the solarium. The solarium is an adult-only pool. Adults, in this case, means 16 or over. Perhaps best known for the fact that they've got these hot tubs that kind of just hang over the side of the boat. Directly on the other side, you can see this is the family pool, or the main pool area. There's a pool, a sports pool. I don't know the difference between the two of them, but this is where anyone, regardless of their age, can go. And of course you can have a cruise without all-you-can-eat free ice cream and yogurt sprinkles right here. This is something that they had on the other ship as well, although this is kind of looking like it might be like a portable version of it. For the kids, this is their splash-away bay area. As you can see, it's just sort of like a splash zone. There's a couple of small water slides, a little bit of a pool, but mainly just things for them to climb and splash each other with. And of course, one of those giant buckets that dumps water on me every time that I get in one of these. Thankfully, my kids are old enough now that I shouldn't have to go rescue them from this. And hopefully that means no more buckets of water dumped right on my head. Now, for those of you who have watched this channel before, you know that I do enjoy a good ketchup hot dog. Go ahead, leave your hate below, but hit subscribe so you can leave hate next time too. The way the buffet is set up, you've got a whole bunch of different stations. Over here you can see that they've got a guy sneezing. You've got salad, you've got some lunch meats, breads of course, sauteed zucchini, things like that. Over here you get to the main portion of the buffet area. You know, you've got your soups over here, but then you get into your drunk people. You get into your aging alcoholics. And then over here you have your hot foods. I see barbecue chicken, gravy, polenta fries, some baked pasta. Over here is your desserts. You can see little single servings of desserts. And right over there, you've got the burger and the hot dog area. They fresh grill them. There's a burger of the day. There's a veggie burger if you're into that sort of thing. And as you can see, there's some great views as you sit here and eat. Well, there will be some great views later. Right now, it's just kind of this desolate part of Fort Lauderdale where they bring in all the stuff off the ships. As you start walking out of the buffet, if you go over to this direction, you've got the Chops Grill. Over here is the Giovanni's Italian, kind of like the last ship we went on, which was the Mariner of the Seas. At night, they will open these things up for the exclusive paid premium dining, same as the Giovanni's table over there. For the rest of us, though, we'll probably just go down to the included dining room. If you're planning on doing any diving while on your excursions, this is where you want to go beforehand. They could sell you some of the equipment. They could rent you some of the equipment too. These folks over here happen to do just that. As you can see, this side of the boat, much better views at the moment than the other side. I kind of like the look of that building right there. I'm not sure what that is. I think it's just a garage with some offices maybe, but it's beautiful. Better view of that main pool area, including the main pool bar that you see right over here. Look at the sky bar right above it. Right around 4:30, 5 o'clock, this is all going to turn into the sail away party, and we're definitely going to try to get some of that. As you can see, things are starting to get kind of busy here on the 12th deck, right outside our room, actually. This is kind of convenient. As you can see by the increase in population, we're getting ready for the sail-away party. So right now, you look over there, and there's a whole bunch of crap and a plane taking off. Hey, look at that. We're about to not have that. It's going to look a lot more like that side. Just ocean as far as the eye can see. Before we actually push back, I figure we'll take you around, show you what's on deck number 12. This is where some of the teen stuff is, some of the water activity happens, and right up here actually, it's a Johnny Rockets. This is kind of a staple in a lot of the early 2000s models of the Royal Caribbean ships. As you can see, it just goes through there. It's the same Johnny Rockets you're going to find at a lot of malls or tourist attractions across the country. Most of them, of course, don't have the seating on the outside alongside the ocean, of course, but this one does. Standard fare: burgers, dogs, milkshakes is a big thing, fries. I think onion rings. I could be wrong about that. They did a classic malt. You're not going to get yourself an egg whip or anything like that, but some good stuff. While we're out here, I'd be remiss if I didn't show you the city way off in the distance. Let me see if I can kind of zoom in a little bit. You can see one of the buildings sticking up. Actually, it's a beautiful area. It's just you got to get past some of the stuff like this in order to really see it. Coming around the side, you can see what they've got going here. A couple of the water slides. I know that when we were on the Mariner of the Seas, there were some transparent pieces that would take you off the side of the boat. You can kind of see this one does too. But in the Mariner of the Seas, it was transparent. You can kind of look out over the water as you're zooming through. It does not look like that is the case with this particular one. That being said, I do believe these water slides are quite a bit bigger. Moving to the side of the boat, you can see a different skyline over here. Fort Lauderdale skyline right ahead of us, as you can see, quite a bit closer than the Miami skyline that we saw way off in the distance.
Deck 11.
Take a look at this. We've got some parade floats waiting for us to set sail. I understand that there's actually a parade that'll walk through the middle of the cruise ship on the Promenade. Let's see if we can get a couple minutes of footage of that, shall we? This is a little bit of a tradition. I think I pointed out last time we were on one of the Royal Caribbean ships, there's always going to be some sort of fun car with giant teddy bears in it. That is, as I understand, the president or the CEO or the chairman of Royal Caribbean is a big fan of these teddy bears and the classic cars, and that's why those are here. Looks like there's a skeleton underneath this one, which is interesting. This is Sorrento's, and this is in the middle of the Promenade area too. As you can see, it's pretty popular. There's a lot of people waiting here, and that is because right here, or at least at the front of this line, you can grab free pizza by the slice, by the pie if you want to take it back up to your room, get some beverages. It's complimentary. But there's also a bar with Sorrento's that is not complimentary. So if you want to get something like that, you know, a couple bucks to these fine folks, and they'll have you on your way. As we prepare for sail off in the next couple minutes, figure it'd take a couple minutes to enjoy a good cup of coffee. As we get ready for sail off in the next couple minutes, before the parade starts down here, I'm enjoying a free cup of coffee at Sorrento's. They have Lavazza coffee, which is a pretty darn good brew. But again, a great place to have a cup of coffee, grab a free slice of pizza, and just chill for a little while. Freshly caffeinated, let me show you what's here in the Promenade. A veritable cornucopia of fun and excitement right here. And you can see over here, this is kind of like their customer service area for the entire ship, not just for the Promenade. There's something wrong with your keys, if you misplace something, if you want to upgrade, this is where you're going to want to go for that. Next cruise will be pretty empty tonight, most likely, but tomorrow and on Sunday, I expect to kick up a little bit. Next cruise is where you go to book your next cruise. It's not just a clever name. Usually, if you book while you're still on the ship, you get like a $600 discount on your next one, give or take. Next to that is the Cafe Promenade. When we were on the last ship, that's where we got our free pizza. It's actually very similar to Sorrento's in that particular way. It's still laid out very similarly, but this one's got a Starbucks in it, and I believe you can get like pastries and things like that instead of just pizza. Right across from there is Get Out There. It's not open right now. They don't open a lot of these stores until the second day, but as you can see, they've got a much more exciting, mobile, I don't know, sporty look to it. Looks like that's sportswear. I see Quicksilver and things like that. And actually to my right, I see yet another dog. I see a theme forming here. Salty dogs, perhaps? Across across from the Promenade is the cupcake cupboard. Looks like they've got specialty cupcakes. From the look of things, they're not overly large or particularly elaborate. I do believe they are extra, but I could be wrong about that. As you can see, they're just regular cupcakes. Of course, we're all familiar with this particular company. It is Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Those are not dogs, by the way. As you can see, they're starting to rope off things both on this side and this side, meaning the parade is about to start, so I'm going to kind of hurry this up and get out of the way. Right over here, by the way, the general store, not open yet, but this is where you're going to go to get your liquor, your Coke, your medicines. From the look of things, probably cigars and things like that. This is all duty-free and tax-free, by the way. Across from there is the gifts and jewelry. You can get a lot of watches. Watches are very big. They usually do a lot of watches and jewelry that they will sell. They call it 75% off. Sometimes it's a discount. Usually it's just 75% off of what the most expensive they could sell it for would be. So if you're going to come on one of these cruises and you're thinking about getting a watch, jump on Amazon first and screenshot all the prices. We walked by here earlier, you see the car with a skeleton underneath it. This is Vintage's. This is their wine bar. Again, not very busy at the moment, but I expect it to kick in. And across from there is the logo and souvenir store. Not open. This is where you're going to buy all of your Royal Caribbean gear. Looks like they got some like Beanie Baby type things in there too, but if you want to get some t-shirts, for instance, one of those fake ships. Forgive me, I bumped my camera. If you want to get one of those ship models, that's over here. Those are very popular. We've got a cosmetics and perfume shop right over here. Again, it's duty-free. It'll kick in probably tomorrow. Right across from the Hoof and Claw, which is a British pub. Most of these ships, I believe, have a British pub. This is where you're going to go to watch British sports and drink your lagers and... I don't know if they have fish and chips or not. I would assume that they should, but who knows? Looks like the parade is starting. The lights just went down. I think this is their way of scaring everybody behind the ropes, which is a good idea. I'd like to point out really quickly, however, before things start, you see these windows right here, right there, and yes, even right there. Those are rooms. There are interior rooms, of course, as there are on all cruise ships, but these particular interior rooms, as you see, give you a window to look down on the promenade. So it's not like looking at a blank wall like so many of the interior rooms across cruise ships traditionally would be. The parade is beginning. There's the Gordon's Fisherwoman and Popeye. And Benicio. There you go, folks. That's the parade. Here's Martha Washington and Snap, Crackle, and Pop, I suppose. She's going to be so embarrassed when she realizes what flag that is. Oh, and there's somebody stealing a song from Styx. Sailor Moon. There's Sailor Venus. Benicio's got a Segway. Oh, Gordon Fisherman's got a Segway. And Popeye's got a Segway. And Snap, Crackle, and Pop are having none of it. And here's the Keebler Elves. High technology, folks. All right, looking down here. Nothing. Cool. All right, so back over here. Actually, that looks kind of fun. So when somebody asked her what she does for a living, What do you suppose that particular job is called? Is that just entertainer, or I'm not making fun of her. I'm curious. What do you suppose that is called? Oh, wait a minute. Making us into a ship. Ah, the Vikings have arrived. We're kind of all over the place here. Some of these folks don't quite seem as into it as other folks do. Is that a Viking princess? Is that what I'm seeing here? Okay. Sure. Here comes the three kings. Obviously, Balthazar is missing. Oh, it's Sinbad. How about that? Should I let her know that you're supposed to turn your phone sideways when you vlog? Now she'll never get into the vlogging club. I'm not entirely sure what's going on right now. Oh! Now it's Chinese New Year. Okay. Why not? You know, I always thought that the Chinese sailors and the Vikings would get along really well if they would just get together and dance. Alright, the Vikings seem to be fleeing. Up, here we go. I see pirates. Pirates singing Lady Gaga. So the pirates are now getting on the road as well. And now they're playing the village people. But really, if you think about it, this was a foregone conclusion, really. stopped moving. Oh, they're dance fighting, I think. It's a fight dance-off. Well, my money is on Snap, Crackle, and Pop, personally. Well, the fight's over. Only one person seems to be dead. This guy might be a real Viking, by the way. And somehow the Gordon's Fisherman is in the middle of it. That one's crying. Not sure what's up there. Maybe it's just a really weird part of the show. That guy's just about had enough. And over there is the, I believe, the cruise director. Seems to be about it for the parade. Good morning. If you haven't figured it out already, it's the next day, which puts us at a perfect day at Coco Cay. Second time we've been here. We're going to try to do some of the stuff that we didn't do the first time around. First time we did it, I don't know how the link went up there. There were things that you can do that are perfectly free with kids. We focused on that last time. This time we're going to show some of the other stuff, like these free trams. In this case, we're going to do the back over here. This is the back of the golf cart tram. See, there's a whole bunch of them ready to whisk people away to the island paradise that is Coco Cay. Dealing with today. We just got off of the trams right over here. You can see there's the Thrill Water Park. We're not doing that today. But what we will end up doing is coming across here, the main area, past Harbor Beach. We'll be there at some point. Chill Island will do all of this. Breeze Bay at Chill Island up here. Coco Beach Club is sort of like a paid exclusive area. That's hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to do. We're not doing that. We'll come over here to South Beach at some point as well. And then we'll probably do go around Oasis Lagoon at some point. Lunch, Skipper's Grill, Captain Jack's. So let's be on our way, shall we? Got some really nice shaded hammocks over here. Probably not going to do too much of that today. Enjoy the beach while we can. And if you watched the last video, over there is where we bought our sunscreen. But this area over here is the first part of the, what do they call it? I think they call it the straw market, named after the Bahamian straw markets, which is apropos because we're in the Bahamas. And speaking of the straw market, here's the bulk of the straw market. You can see these little cabanas, if you will. They sell T-shirts and hats and tchotchkes and things like that. They are actually put together by folks from the Bahamas. This is not anything that is run by the employees of Royal Caribbean. And you can buy all that stuff that you would normally buy when you get off the ship on the Big Island of Grand Bahamas. Big Island I know is Hawaii, but you know what I'm talking about. A lot of wooden stuff here, carved wooden. Kind of like that turtle that plays music. Get some Buzz Lightyear stuff. Some snorkels. A lot of beach wear. Of course, Bob Marley is very big here. Almost all of these shacks have Bob Marley stuff, which kind of makes sense. There's maybe a couple dozen of these shacks. Some of the stuff you could actually get at a pretty good bargain. When I say bargain, some of the stuff you could actually haggle a little bit. Not that I'm a big fan of doing that, but, you know, trip tip. As we walk back out of the straw market, we are back on what most people think of as Chill Beach. You can see there's the food area over there. Here's the sitting area over here. And this is all free, of course. Umbrellas, chairs, anything that you see is that is included in your trip. But if you want to get one of the day beds, the cabanas that you see scattered here and there, that's going to be a little bit more. These ones, I think, start at $200 per person and go up from there. For the time being, though, I think we are just going to take one of these little lounger and umbrella stations and spend some time here. We're going to head from Chill Island now to an area called South Beach, which is, well, obviously the direction we're going right now. It's supposed to be a little less crowded, a little bit more about the beach and less about, you know, the active atmosphere. And apparently you've got to go through this nature trail to hell in 3D. Very unusual, to say the least. This is something. Take a look at all of this. Beautiful blue water, no land masses out in sight. People, of course, in chairs and floating cabanas, basketball, towels, of course, liquor, showers, strollers, signage, structures, siestas, circles, sand, slides, swimsuits, seniors, sports, stations, storage, and a hasty retreat. I said that Chill Beach was the activity center. I was very incorrect about that. South Beach, not Chill Beach or Chill Island, is the epicenter of craziness. A lot of kids, a lot of teens, a lot of young 20-somethings, of which we are none of those. I mean, sure, yes, we have kids, but Princess Wave, they're not making the decisions this time around. And what can I say? Our kids aren't really big fans of crowds anyways. Let's do some exploring up that direction. Here's another area of South Beach. They've got a juice bar over here. I believe it is a free juice bar. And now it is time to reprove my philosophy in life. The best juice is free juice. Especially when you have an unknown distance to go to find whatever you're going to find next. Ha! Coconutty! Looks like this is the end of the line unless you want to take it all the way to Nature's Trail to the Cove. Which of course I do. It smells very swampy in here. And the ground is very uneven. Like some old retaining walls, perhaps. A lot of stone. A lot of roots. A lot of plunging areas as we walk towards the Cove. What is the Cove? I honestly have no clue. I can assure you, it's a very precarious trail. And you don't get much more precarious than the poisonwood tree. Don't touch. Left everybody else back at the beach back there while walking towards the Cove, so don't worry. Only I am in danger. Something large is moving around in the woods. Quite a bit, actually. Human? Monster? The world may never know. As crazy as this is, I believe it's a chicken. It is. That would be a rooster walking around in the woods. Oh, look at that. There's two roosters in the woods. Before you walk out here into this clearing, where once again people are enjoying their afternoon in the sun. No offense of all these fine folks, but that was just a little anticlimactic. Back at South Beach, these would be the day beds that I was talking about. Again, they go from between $200 and a little bit more per person this time of year. I understand sometimes they get as low as about $1.49 per person. Come with the 2 chairs, the day bed, and a cooler full of bottled water. Our adventures with South Beach over. It is time to jump over here to the tram station, just underneath the hot air balloon, and wait for the tram to come and pick us up. In the meantime, however, it is worth noting there are a lot of hidden hammocks in the mangroves over here. Kind of unexpected, but there is a peacock crossing the road over here. That's not a joke. There really is a peacock crossing the road over here. Obviously not doing the bright and illustrious tail at the moment, but there you go. Full transparency, I actually came this far out into the island looking for Blackbeard's grave. It's not the real grave, but they've in the past had a Blackbeard's grave here on Coco Cay. The real Blackbeard's grave doesn't exist. There is a marker for him in North Carolina where he was killed. They beheaded him and tossed his body into the water and kept his head. But there's a whole bunch of Blackbeard's graves that have popped up around the globe in the meantime. One of them was here. It appears to be gone. But I didn't expect while looking for Blackbeard's grave over here to come across chickens and peacocks. Not an entirely lost afternoon, I'd say. Hidden hammocks too. And dropped back off near the Oasis pool. You can see we're coming around to the main dining area for the island. Full of freebies, of course, but I think this time we're going to check out one of the premium locations after we dive into the freebie location. We are just now sitting down here at Captain Jack's. You can see over there wings and fries. In this case, we got a couple orders of the wings. They come with the fries, steak fries. As I understand, you get 2 flavors of wings, 2 flavors of fries. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this one is not a freebie. This one, they're going to charge it to your room, but we did get some freebie stuff over at the other place, the children. For me, we got the wings, as I said. I don't usually leave wings, but good grief, these are hot. This is the jerk and the mango habanero. Damn! Don't get me wrong, they were flipping good, but that's
stomach's on fire.
My family and I are going to be drinking a lot of water in the next couple of hours. And now, with our hearts and our bellies full, we're going to head back past the largest, the largest water slide in the Caribbean, through Coco Cay and back onto the ship. You know, enjoy the empty ship for a while. Speaking quite honestly, there's a lot of very drunk young people on the cruise ship this time, and being able to enjoy some of the areas in a more laid-back family environment sounds pretty good. Of course, on the way out, we're going to walk past the galleon, which is sort of like a little splash pad area for the kids. Perhaps this is where all of the children will be, except for our kids who like the pool, of course. I'd also like to point out that our ship, the Liberty of the Seas, is docked right now next to the Oasis of the Seas, which was up until very recently the largest cruise ship, I believe, in the world. I think it's still top 3. You can see there's a purple slide on the back of that one right now that heads down into the atrium. That is a dry slide. So literally it is a slide that you go down, I don't know what, 13 stories, something like that? Might have to check that out sometime soon. One more beautiful view. A perfect day of Coco Cay. And if you look out into the water, you see another very large cruise ship the next island over. There is another island over there. Go that direction. I don't know if they are Stirrup Cay or if we are Stirrup Cay. But there's another island over there, and I believe I see some zip lines. And I think they may actually shuttle you over, it looks like, rather than docking. Also worth noting at the Oasis of the Seas right here. Ours, of course, our ship, the Liberty, has the Promenade section, little indoor mall, for lack of a better word. Theirs does not have that. They have that big open park setting right there. It's a Central Park type thing, where they've got shops and rides and gardens all over the place. You're inside, but you're outside. And actually, I think if you saw that video a few months ago of huge sheets of water pouring down from the top of a cruise ship into the center of it, I think it was this one. It was either this one or its sister ship of the same class. While we're here, let me give you a little bit of a scope and a scale. That is the Oasis. That is still probably about 100 yards behind me. Over there is our ship. That's the Liberty. Look at the size of that dinghy. Good grief. Right there you get the escape vessels for our particular ship. As you can see, they're fully enclosed and they are enormous. But then you go across to the Oasis, and it says right there, 370-person rescue vessel. Good grief! Amazing. And now, back on the ship, it's time to wade around in the pool. I'm going to leave you guys here. We'll see you soon. Daylight breaks on day 3, and we are here in the Bahamas. Nassau, of the Bahamas specifically. There's the Carnival Conquest. There's another carnival behind it, and that is, of course, the larger of the islands. Making our way to the other side of the boat, you can see some very beautiful, I don't even know what you call this structure of land, but it's beautiful, it's thin, and it is full of little huts over there, larger beat-up huts over there that have been destroyed. I don't know if you can see, but the roof is pretty far gone. But coming this direction, it's the Atlantis. I think we've all seen pictures of this one, right? Well, the Atlantis looks quite fun. What we've got in store for today is, I don't know, just a little bit more left field. Walking down the giant dock to the other giant dock, past the pirate, we'll peruse down the pier, and plop into the pile of people. And now, having checked in with everybody and, gotten our multicolored wristbands on, it's time for us to go where we're going. And where are we going? For the moment, we're going there. Up there. There to the other pier that we'll walk on through to places. Past the Carnival Sunrise and the Carnival Conquest. Oh look, it's the Hamburg out of Strasbourg by way of Dusseldorf, of course. Bratwurst, du hast. And now, after traveling through what feels like 4 or 5 miles worth of piers, we have arrived at our whip. I think I'm using that word correctly. No, sir, don't do it. It's going to be okay. Time to play another fun-filled game of who's going to get yelled at first. You go first. As I understand, the straw market, the real straw market, not the one that we went to yesterday, is right over there. You can see the line of people wandering over there, and please come get your child away from the pier before this dad has a heart attack. Oh, and by the way, we are going to the Blue Lagoon Island. I understand that's where we are going to be wined and dined by Brooke Shields. And if you understood that reference, you probably heard about as much as I do every day when I get out of bed. The question was just asked, how many people are we going to put on this boat? The answer? All the people. Now, there's only 13 life jackets, but I understand that if the 13 people lie flat like a board, you could fit 3 people on top of them each, so welcome aboard. We're told 224 people can get on this boat safely, and when we got on, we were 153 and 154. So right now, we're at about 362. The boat is listing. Quick, grab the tips. Holy ship, will you look at this? I'm not sure what I expected, but I did not expect this. There's a aquatic bounce house, a bunch of bars, gift store, a big yellow pot, actual Blue Lagoon. Most importantly, a place to sit. Although we were just informed those are not chairs for us to sit in, so back the other direction. That's okay, maybe we'll just do one of these instead. Well, so far, no Brooke Shields, but a little bit of everything else. Like I said, we have the Blue Lagoon. There's a pirate tower in the way back. Looks like there's a little town of sorts over there. We have a trail that leads you to, well, something we'll show you a little bit later. And over here, perhaps most importantly, there's a hot sauce hut right there. There is a tube rental place right there. There are smoothies right there. And there is a Shifting Tides snacks, bar, and a restaurant over there. Everything you could ever hope to have. And how about that share? Huh? How about it? Finally found a place where I can kind of get an idea as to how the island is laid out. As you can see, we have a little bit of a fish hook thing going on here with the lagoon in the center. The island, as I understand, used to be one big island back in, I think it was 1991, perhaps. A storm blew through and separated it, so now it's kind of 2 islands that are connected by this bridge over here. There's actually a pretty good amount of history in this island. Now, this is currently owned by a family. This is a private island, which is why, of course, you need to pay a few dollars in order to be here. Didn't always follow that particular pattern, however. Back in the olden day, way back yonder, before my time or your grandparents' time, probably even your great-great-great-grandparents' time, this island was the proverbial pirate hangout that all of the islands claim to be. This one actually was. I'm sure it didn't look quite as well kept, shall we say, as it does now. This island was actually well known at the time for being quite heavy in salt. So pirates would come in, sail into the safety and the privacy of the lagoon, and they dig up salt, and they would use the salt to prepare their food source for the long journeys they'd go on. It would keep it from rotting, of course. And I'm sure they would probably enjoy a little shore excursion time while they were here. Obviously, the fences and such weren't here at the time, but that blue water, I would imagine probably even more blue at that point. As time went by, gentrification kicked in, of course, and we went from having pirates here to more permanent settlers. Private ownership, of course, throughout the years. They tried growing corn on this particular island, and as I'm walking, I can't help but think how corn-like some of these plants are, even though I know that they aren't corn. It just seemed like the perfect time to see these, is all. So the years went on, and the centuries and decades rolled past. And, you know, the people who were running things came and went. And, well, here we are now. It's very touristy, obviously. They ended up bringing in a lot of animals over the years. They raised goats, pigs, monkeys, believe it or not. They brought in things like dolphins, sea lions, stingrays, things like that. And over the last, I don't know, 40, 50 years, this has been a very popular place for people on cruise ships to come visit a somewhat glorified version of what the Bahamas are. I like these homemade wheelchairs, by the way. Those wheels right there look like they can make it through pretty much anything. And it looks like Mario can easily warp to level 7 through the frame. Sorry folks, just a little plumbing humor. These days, if you come to the island, you've got several choices. To get here, of course, you have to travel in by boat. This is about 5 miles away from Nassau, as I understand. You can see they've obviously cleaned the beach up, brought in things like those giant wheelchairs and that giant chair. But in addition, there's a lot of hammocks that are off in the bushes. There's a lot of liquor. There's a ton of liquor on this island, and a lot of people telling you to drink up. But it is still generally family friendly. As you can tell from the inflatable water park, from the Dolphin Encounters skiff barge over there, the people floating in the water, the people still coming in from the boats. And if you go over this way, you can see that there's some safaris, Segway safaris. There's the Dolphin VIP swim. Obviously, I didn't really mention a whole lot about it yet, but yes, you can, of course, swim with dolphins. I believe there may be some overnight accommodations that are available at this particular island. I've heard them page hotel guests a few times, and I'm assuming they mean a hotel located here on the island. And funny, as I'm walking, I see a group of people over there in the water, and you can kind of see right there, there's a dolphin swimming with them right now. Now, we only have, I don't know, maybe 3 hours here on the island before we've got to head back over to the Liberty of the Seas. But I'm very excited to show you the excursion that we have chosen to take you with us on today. More on that shortly. In the meantime, we have a Save the Manatees sign right here. I'm assuming that means that sometimes they have manatees come in. Being from Central Florida, we've got manatees too. Not quite as rare as they would be for most people. But over there is the Dolphin Encounter, of course. There's somebody I can hear yelling that they don't want to, quote-unquote, hold the dolphin. Which is kind of funny because most of the other people in the water right now paid a decent amount of money to hold said dolphin. In the meantime, I'm kind of struck by how beautifully blue the sky is here. This may be the most blue I've ever seen a sky. And I also feel like if I keep my camera trained this direction long enough, we may see that young woman go flying into the sand dunes. I've got a moral dilemma here. What to do? What to do? Darn these Midwest values of mine. This is actually a pretty quick and easy way to see what they've got. We can go to your left, Info Center, Stingray Encounter, Dolphin Encounter, Dolphin Swim. I'm not sure what the two different pieces are. Royal Dolphin Swim. Apparently that's when you swim with King Dolphin. There's a gift shop, a photo lab, some restrooms and some showers, or we can head to our right going the Segway Safari with that young lady that we showed a moment ago, the Eco Walking Tour, the VIP dolphin swim. So there's 6 different types of dolphin swims. There's a raccoon habitat where you could, I don't know, swim with a raccoon. I'm not sure. Touch tank, the Sea Lab, which is education, a sea lion encounter, and restrooms and showers. I'm sure you could probably guess which one we're taking you on. You guessed it, restroom and showers. I'm just kidding. They've already told me that I cannot take you into the restrooms and showers. Not these people. These people didn't seem to care. One of the folks that runs the island has informed me that I need to take you in here because there are, and I quote, treasures like you wouldn't believe. I don't know. I'm from Orlando. I could believe a lot of treasures. They've got Coco Cay, Bahamian aged rum. That is worth a mention, by the way. This was Blue Lagoon. This was actually called Salt Cay after the salt on the island that the pirates would come over and rub their meat with. Boy, that's kind of an uncomfortable thing to say. Anyways, here are the treasures like I wouldn't believe. Crazy, but they look an awful lot like the treasures that I would believe. Okay, admittedly, I didn't expect the Christmas ornaments. Over there are the Bahamian chips, like you wouldn't believe. Some towels, like you wouldn't believe. And of course, some party popper koozies, like you wouldn't believe. To make my exit, like you wouldn't believe. Oh, apparently I should pull it though. That's the one thing I wasn't expecting. A door that pulls into the shop. Obviously it does not follow American fire codes, which were put into place years ago to stop fire-related tragedies, like you wouldn't believe. Over there we have the raccoon encounter. In case you are interested, I have to assume that you've never had an encounter with a raccoon. I'm not entirely sure what they do. I'm guessing they put you in the enclosure with the raccoons until you can't stand it anymore. That's just a joke. I hope that's just a joke. Over here is the crab from the crab encounter. The sea urchin from the sea urchin encounter. No, wait. That's the sea urchin from the sea urchin encounter. The snail from the snail encounter. And the restroom from the unfortunate encounter. The Free Willy reboot just doesn't quite live up to the original. So letting the cat out of the bag, here's what we are going to be doing. Now the unfortunate reality is I'm not allowed to bring my camera in the water. Something about sea lions grabbing you by the neck and dragging you under. But nothing says that I can't film in the meantime. There is at least one of the sea lions. I don't know how many sea lions there are here. There's one. And these fine folks are getting a chance to pet said sea lion. Oh. Oh. Look at that. The sea lion can answer questions. My kids can't even do that. Over to the sides, there's a whole bunch of buckets here, and there appears to be a sea lion in each of said buckets. Which, I don't even know what to say about that. I believe they come out of the bucket, they go down this concrete embankment into this water, and then they swim over here to enjoy a human encounter. Curious if I could pay a little extra to combine the sea lion encounter with the raccoon encounter. That seems like it would be worth filming, doesn't it? The sea lion is certainly bigger, but my money is on the raccoon. My money will always be on the raccoon. Over there, you can see some dolphins splashing around. That is the dolphins from the dolphin encounter.
I forgot my shoes.
And she forgot her shoes. Now they're getting the sea lion used to everybody by giving everybody a dead fish in what I lovingly refer to as the fish encounter. Now it's clapping. Her name is Charlotte, and she is clapping and screaming. Oh, Charlotte is flexing. quite impressive. Ooh, look at that.
So cool.
I can do that if I wanted to.
Feed me, I'm done.
Not too surprisingly, was not allowed to take the camera down into the Blue Lagoon's Blue Lagoon to spend some time with the sea lions, but we had the larger of the two sea lions right there. Started over here, got a hug, got a picture, got a kiss. They asked you to compliment the sea lion, and the compliment would then make them look shy. I told her that she was so damp and smelly, she reminded me of Grandma. But she took umbrage to that, and then when we went over there, she spent most of the actual encounter splashing me, and at one point threw herself on me. So, yeah, that isn't on film, unfortunately, but I can say that if you really want to have one hell of an encounter, insult the sea lion. Personally, I didn't mean it as a insult. Made me homesick. With that said and done, the experience in the record books, I think it's time for us to wander back over towards the beach. Hopped over here to look at the dolphins, and they're actually talking to each other through the little net that is separating the different groups. This big one right over here, the lighter one that's kind of pink on the bottom, keeps coming over and staring at us. A lot of intelligence in these creatures. And when I say they're talking to each other, I mean they're literally, you could hear them chittering to each other. Amazing. It's amazing, she just keeps coming up and staring. This is their VIP swim. I'm not entirely sure what the difference is, other than potentially just a bigger area for them. I don't know. But that's over here, and the dolphins spend their days over there. As I understand, at night they open things up, and they've got a much larger area that they've got. Same with the sea lions. Oh, now they're doing this. And I guess they're done now. Heading over here, this is the shack where you can get your photos. We're told about $100 is going to be what it takes to get you your entire set of photos. Let's see if what they have is worth $100. The sea lions encountered, the photos purchased. We got 6 of them, by the way. It is time to spend our last few minutes here on the island, relaxing in our private cabana. Coconutty. Siesta secured. It's time for us to skedaddle down the sandy sidewalk, sashay to our waiting skiff, where we will say, see you soon. And sayonara. Bringing us right back to where we started the morning. And so, as the sun sinks below the horizon, here on the liberty of the seas, we call an end to this particular 3-night cruise. Hey, if you haven't done so already, you'd sure be doing me a favor. If you reach down below, hit that subscribe button, maybe give it a quick thumbs up, left a comment, and hey, we'll see you next time when we do just a little more exploring.